They say the forest was alive, not in a way of birds or beasts, but in a way no human could understand. At night, it whispered names that no one had spoken in centuries. The elders called it Erumu, the forest that spoke. And for those who dared to listen, it revealed truths older than time itself. This is the story of Okiri, a man who entered that forest seeking meaning, and came out carrying the language of nature itself. Okiri was a carver, a master of wood. His hand-shaped masks that smiled, drums that sang, and statues that breathed. But his spirit was restless. He wondered why the wood felt alive beneath his blade, why the trees seemed to sigh when cut. The elders told him not to ask such questions, that the forest had ears, and those who disturbed its silence never returned the same. But one night, under a full moon burning like a spirit's eye, Okiri heard a voice calling his name. It was not a voice made of sound, but one that vibrated in his bones, pulling him toward the forest edge. Against every warning, he stepped into Erumu. The air shifted instantly. The forest wasn't dark, it glowed. Leaves shimmered with faint light, and the ground hummed softly beneath his feet. The air smelled like old rain and fire. Fireflies drifted in patterns that looked almost like words. The deeper he went, the louder the pulse became, a steady rhythm, like the beating of a great heart beneath the soil. Then it spoke. "Okiri, why do you cut what you do not understand?" Okiri froze. The voice came from a colossal tree, its bark shaped into an ancient face, eyes closed as if sleeping. His throat went dry. "I carved honor," he said slowly. "I shape what my hands can hold, what my eyes can see." The tree opened its glowing eyes. "You shape, but do you listen?" It asked. "Every tree you carve once sang in the wind. Every drum you beat once held the rhythm of rain. You honor what you destroy, but you do not listen to what it says." Okiri fell to his knees, trembling. His knife slipped from his hand and sank into the earth. Then the forest opened itself to him. He saw visions, trees pulsing with golden light, roots carrying messages through soil, rivers whispering stories to the ocean. He heard the hum of ants, the sigh of stones, the song of stars woven into leaves. Every sound, every movement, every vibration was part of a vast, living language. The forest spoke again. Long ago, man and nature shared one voice. But man sought dominion, not harmony. He stopped listening. He forgot the words of balance. Yet there are still those who remember, those who carve from love, not from hunger. When Okiri returned to his village, his eyes no longer saw the world the same way. He spoke little, but his hands began to carve once more, not masks of power or idols of worship, but faces of trees, flowing rivers and wind caught in wood. His carvings carried warmth as though they breathed. Children gathered to touch them. Elders whispered that the forest had marked him. Over time, the village changed. Hunters began to offer prayers before setting traps. Farmers sang before sowing. Even the air around them seemed gentler. The drums beat slower, deeper, like the heart of the forest itself had joined in. One night, Okiri went back to Erumu. He placed his last carving, a figure of the great speaking tree, at its roots. "Let my hand speak where my voice cannot," he whispered. The tree glowed faintly, its light spreading like breath through the leaves. The wind answered, carrying his name into eternity. To this day, they say if you walk through Erumu at dusk, you can hear the forest whisper, "Okiri," between the rustling leaves. The forest still speaks, but only to those who have learned to listen. African wisdom has always taught that the world is alive, that every stone, every stream, every gust of wind holds spirit, that nature doesn't simply exist around us, it communicates with us. The old people understood what science is only now beginning to confirm. Trees share warnings through roots, plants respond to sound, and the earth vibrates with a living frequency. What the ancients called the language of nature was never myth. It was knowledge spoken through silence. The story of Okiri and the forest that spoke is more than legend. It's a mirror. It reminds us that we are not separate from the world. We are a part of its voice. The same rhythm that moves the oceans moves within our blood. The same intelligence that grows a tree breathes in our lungs. The same spirit that whispered to Okiri still speaks today, through wind, rain, and silence. But in a world filled with noise, we have forgotten how to hear. We exploit instead of understand. We consume instead of commune. And yet if we pause, truly pause, and listen to the earth beneath our feet, we might hear the same question the forest once asked Okiri. Do you listen? The forest still speaks. It speaks when rivers dry, when storms rage, when seeds bloom through cracked soil. It speaks through balance, through loss, through renewal. And maybe, when humanity remembers to listen again, we will rediscover the language that once bound all living things together. A language not of words, but of awareness, reverence, and connection. So when next you walk beneath trees, stop, touch the bark, close your eyes, listen beyond sound. The whisper you hear might not be imagination. It may be the forest remembering your name. If this story stirred something within you, don't let it fade into silence. Subscribe to this channel for more African stories that awaken memory, mystery, and meaning. Like this video. Share it with someone who believes the earth is alive. And let us know in the comments what you think the forest would say if it could speak to you. Together, let's keep the ancient voice of nature alive, one story at a time.